Hey you guys, this is Tired Goth, and I'm doing another quick spiritual video. Forgive me if in these reading videos or whatever, I sound like I have a cold. I totally got over one recently. The reason being that I started like a new schedule and seasonal changes and everything literally took me off my seat for like a whole day, but I was okay. But spiritually speaking, it was kind of weird how I just got sick out of nowhere because like literally nothing would have made me sick. Um, it was just like a really bizarre occurrence. Like the last time I felt that way, it was literally like I don't want to get into it, but it was literally someone trying to hex me, and it was really bizarre. So like I felt like someone was trying to push a lot of karmic energy onto me. But I'm actually gonna get into that in this like mini video here. Um, okay, so I mentioned or have mentioned, and a lot of people who do spiritual readings and like testimonies have mentioned that there's something called destiny swapping. I just want to get into that real quick, right? Destiny swapping is a really weird kind of occurrence where if energy that we possess naturally, like each of us, is karmically infused with good or bad energy based on our decisions, karma actually creates a density for our energy, right? Um, it's like this. When you have bad energy, your energy is weighty. It's like heavy, right? And when you have good karma, your karma is actually very light. Your energy is very light. It almost resonates with simplicity, ease, and ease of acquirement or obtainment of something. So bad karma will actually create an issue with you yourself and your energy being able to attract things to you with greater ease, right? That's why people who try this destiny swapping stuff are trying to swap out their bad karma in the first place and their bad energy in the first place by emulating other people and other things around them that have better, lighter energy. But here's the thing about this, right? Energy, when it's heavy versus energy when it's light, is like oil and water, right? If you've ever seen one of those toys that has water and oil together in it, and the oil is usually differently colored, or like the water is differently colored, so that one sits on top of the other and it looks a certain way, you get an idea of what it is we're actually talking about when we talk about like karmic density, right? Oil is lighter than water naturally. So suppose you put like olive oil or vegetable oil on top of a cup of water and the cup is see-through, you can actually see that the oil is going to sit on top of the water because its density is lighter. That is the equivalent of what karma really is energetically if it had a form. If it had something that you could see, that's what it would be. It would be a comparison between oil and water. The two don't actually mix unless you shake it up, right? And like those little capsule ball things or like toys that you would see with that kind of imagery. And what I would like to convey to you as like a comparison here is that when you have oil and water sitting with each other in stillness, in its natural separation, good karma on top and bad karma slightly beneath it, you have the example of what this energy looks like when it's separate, when it hasn't met yet. But when someone with bad karma tries to switch off their karma onto you, it's the equivalent of them doing rituals to proverbially shake up the oil and water to get it to mix somehow, right? So the way that people do this is to force a person with good karma to start doing things out of character to shake up their energy, to shake up their own karma, to sabotage their own energy. And what this does is it mingles their energy with things that they wouldn't otherwise have been involved or mingled with, right? This could be like altercation energy, fighting, arguing pointlessly, getting repeatedly wrapped up in someone else's energetic field, so that they could rub off some of their bad karma and then receive that lighter energy in their mix temporarily. Now, the focus here is on how temporary that really is, because when you do that repeatedly to a ball of like oil and water together, or a cup, whatever, the two mix and eventually they separate, right? And that same thing happens with energy. Energy will separate. But if you do something like restructure the oil energy so that it resituates on top of the water, which is the equivalent of what people do when they call all of their power and energy back to them from where it was shaken up into, it regroups them the way that oil will actually regroup on its own and like pop its little like smaller bubbles and then regroup into one large glob and sit densely lighter, on top of the water where it was originally. This is important to realize because energetically, this is a depiction of what is actually happening when you mingle your energy with bad energy and you have good energy, or vice versa. If you have bad energy and you're trying to shake up someone's good energy to mix with yours, your results are infinitely temporary, infinitely stuck as temporary if you collect or get anything out of it at all. And you know that if you do this. And people are warned that this is how it is because there are some psychics out there that really try to convince people, like, no, if you keep doing it, it'll stick. No, because what you don't realize is that for every drop of bad karma you try to mingle, you actually get all of that karma back. And here's the thing. Another thing that people don't realize is that your decisions from there add more to your ability to regroup. The more good deeds a person does, it regroups their good karma back to them. And the more bad deeds a person does, the less it actually attracts good karma. So you actually create a repellent for future deeds attracting good karma too. You cause a deficit for yourself if you do things to attract bad karma or mingle your bad karma with good karma to swap out. So destiny swappers are actually people just shaking the ball over and over again, like this is going to be mine if I keep resituating the particles. But no, that's not how that works, because particles will always be able to regroup and not only regather, but even add to themselves. Have you ever seen what happens when you add more oil to a shaken up bottle or container, cup, ball, whatever, of this oil and water mixture? It actually takes all of the confused oil particles and brings them all back into one solid thing, and then there's more oil than water, and all of it sits on top, weighing the water completely down. And that is the equivalent of what bad karma will do. It actually pushes itself further down the karmic scale, meaning that if you are supposed to be up here in order to create positive and easy obtainment of anything, you actually get pushed further down to a place of even more difficult positioning for yourself to get good karma. And the more you do it, the worse it gets. So I just felt like maybe I should do a quick video about that, because a lot of people were convinced at one point that destiny swaps would actually work based on their own panic. But as long as you have this information, you would actually understand destiny swaps don't mean anything. They don't do anything. But that's why. So I hope this helped. If you like my show, if you like what I do, if you like what I talk about, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a tip if you'd like. There's a tip jar there. No obligations to that. I'm just grateful you're here. And if you do really want to support me, check if there is a hype button there and give me some hype points, and I would be super grateful for that. Okay? Keep your notification bells on for more content and more drops, and I will be back soon with both spiritual blurbs, spiritual things to talk about, and also my tech shows, which I personally love to do. So have an awesome day, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Love you. Bye.